Hello, welcome to our Cloud Computing Fundamentals training. And in today's session, we are going to do a simple lab on how to create an Azure virtual machine. Then we'll look at how to connect to the virtual machine, and then we will install a service. In this instance, we will install the web service and test it out as well. All right, so let me go back to home. So when I come to home, you can see I have no resources. When I go to view, okay, so I have all these network watches, all right, but I have not really created any virtual machine at the moment. So I'm going to create a virtual machine by clicking on virtual machines and click on create virtual machine. Now it gives me these various options that I need to set. Okay, so as part of the training, we'll be looking at these various options that we need to select. And one option that we'll be discussing is the subscription. So this is my default subscription. I don't have any other subscription. Then you have to create a resource group. We will discuss that as well. You can see I have a default resource group, so I'm going to put it in that. Or you can create yours as well. And then a virtual machine name. So I'm going to use let's say Edge Web VM. All right. And then the region, we also discuss what a region is. Okay. And when you put your mouse pointer on any of these info icons, it's going to tell you what each option is. All right, so here it tells us a resource group is a collection of resources that share the same life cycle, permissions, blah blah blah. Virtual machine name, region the same, availability options, availability zone. So you can learn even on the fly. All right, how you are creating or doing the hands-on. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at East US. Availability options, I'm not going to select, so no infrastructure redundancy required. Security, I'm going to go with standard. Image, I'll use Windows Server. So let me go with this, Windows Server 2019. Okay. And it tells me it's not available. Okay. Wow. Oh, now it's available. That's great. So we can move on. Now we have to set the VM architecture is 64. Okay, it's not supported with the selected image. Okay, that's great. And then the size determines the CPU and then the memory, as well as the cost that you pay at the end of the month. I'm going to leave it at the default D2S V3. It tells us you are going to have 2 virtual CPUs and then 8 gig RAM. Okay. Now administrator access, I'm going to put ed admin as my username. All right, so ed admin, which I will use to access this machine. Put in my password. Sorry, I can't tell you what my password is. Then repeat it. Okay, the password matches. Then I'll be connecting via RDP, so I have to enable that particular port, and then I'll install web service on it, so I'm going to put HTTP there as well. I can put HTTPS if and only if I have a TLS certificate that I can assign to the web server. At the moment I don't, so I'm going to just go with HTTP. And remember, this is all just for demo. Okay, so after the training and when you get the opportunity to work in an organization, you learn how to do all that. Okay, so I'm going to the disk. I'm not going to really do much. I'll just go with the default disk type that will be selected. Yes, delete when I delete the VM. I'm not going to add any additional settings here. All right, networking. So under networking, I'm not really going to change much. I'm going to leave everything here default. The only thing I want to check is that my ports are open. All right, the HTTP and RDP ports are open, and then load balancing, no, I'm not configuring any load balancing at the moment. This is a single virtual machine management. Okay, I'm not really coming to do much here. These are for advanced settings that we can make. Monitoring. Okay, boot diagnostics. I want to disable this. It's going to take a while if there's any wahala, so let me just go with disable, and then think we are done. Advanced tags. We will look at tags in another lab. For this particular demo, we only want to create the virtual machine. We just want to get the virtual machine up and running. And yes, I think I'm good to go. RDP, HTTP. Okay, create. So we are going to wait while this creates, and I'm going to pause the video. We'll come back to it. Alright, so we can see our deployment is complete. So we can go to this resource. And from here, we can see our public IP address over here. So I'm going to click on connect so that I can download the RDP client for this server. Right, download the RDP file. I'm going to keep it. Open the file. Yes, I want to connect. Then I put in the admin. Then my password. Hope I have not forgotten. Okay. And you can see our virtual machine is coming up. Okay. Alright, so our virtual machine is running. And I want to make some few changes to my screen. Alright, so you can see our virtual machine is running. I don't want to view this, so let me close it. I want to show this again. Okay, and we have our server manager opened as well. I can minimize that. Okay, so we are connected to our Azure virtual machine. You can see the name, the IP address, and okay. So our next step is to install the web service. In this case, I'm going to use PowerShell. So let me run the PowerShell. Okay, let me increase properties here. All right, so we have PowerShell opened, and we need to run a command, or in PowerShell we call them commandlets. All right, so we are going to run some commandlets, and then we specify that we want to install the web service. So install Windows feature name web server. And we need to include the management tools so that we'll be able to manage the web service. Okay, I think that is it. Let's hit enter. Okay, this is also going to take a while, so I'll pause the video. We'll come back to it when it is done. All right, so we have success. There's no need to restart, so our service is successfully installed. So let's see if we can connect to this web server from the internet. So we need the internet IP address, which is this one here, or we can just go back, and when we go to the overview of this virtual machine, you can go and then copy it. All right, then we open another tab and paste it in there. Let's see if, all right, so our web service is running. As we can see, the default Microsoft Internet Information Services page, it means our web service is running. Okay, and this is being loaded from the default web service folder. Okay, so www root. So this is what we are seeing when we connect to the web service. All right, it's just this image. Okay, so we can try to make some changes. Okay, so I'm just going to do something here, save it. So you can just copy your web service files, your HTML, your CSS, your images, whichever files, you just come and put them here. And then since we are not looking at administration at the moment, I'm not really going to touch on how to make those IIS settings, but then you can see after I did a refresh, the image now comes with what we did on the file. Okay, so that is it for this particular demo, and hope to see you in class soon, and stay tuned for more. All right, thank you for watching.